I'm going to read the question. You're going to put in your answer. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Last week, the Michigan State Police pulled out the final numbers for the 2025 teen crash deaths on the road. It's down by 21%. 61 kids instead of 76. That's real. That's safer than by 2030, and we're actually working on that. But buried in the same report is a number no one wants to talk about. In the Upper Peninsula, fatality rates for drivers 16 to 20, the exact age of half of the people who are dealing with this right now, is up 5% from 2024 to 2025. Same year, two different stories. One says we're winning. The other says we're losing. Newest drivers on the road. All of you are the newest drivers on the road. Please make sure you're listening to this because I'm going to be dropping knowledge bombs. And here's the part that should scare you more than anything else, than any of the other crash photos. In states like New Jersey, 55 to 60% of first-time drivers, takers fail their written knowledge test. In California, it's roughly half, not the road test, the knowledge test. You guys are going to be taking your knowledge test. It's multiple choice questions. Sitting in a chair, no sitting in the car involved. People are failing before they even touch the steering wheel. You are failing before you even touch the steering wheel. That's a problem. That's not a smart kid. That's not a dumb kid problem. That's a nobody taught you the actual test prep material or the problem. Today, I'm going to fix that. I'm going to go over 100 real questions, real crash data behind every single one. By the end of this, you'll be able to understand and you should be able to pass your test. There are 10 categories. There are 10 questions each category. This is tied to the Michigan State Police of 2025 crash data, the NHTSA, and the state's DMV manuals that make up the answers. This will be stuck in your brain and it won't fall out until your test day. The first category is right-of-way and intersections. Michigan State Police data shows intersection crash remain one of the top 3 crash types than any other outcome. So you need to listen and lock in. I'm going to tell you the question, you write in your answer. Question, at a 4-way stop, who goes first? You need to type in your answer. At a 4-way stop, type in who goes first. I'm going to give you a moment. All of you should type it in, and then I'm moving forward. I'm not going to wait for you because this is 100 real questions. You want test prep? Here it is. You put your question in. Okay, I'm going to repeat the question again. At a 4-way stop, who goes first? You type in your answer. I'm not waiting for you. I'm moving forward. Whoever stops first goes first. The driver on the right goes. So when you get up to a 4-way stop, car on the left should yield to you. If you're confused and they wave you through, you've already failed. I'm going to the second question. You and another car arrive at a 4-way stop at exactly the same time, side by side. Who goes first? Put your answer in. Either you know it or you don't, guys. Your test is Thursday. Period. The driver on the right has the right of way. Either your answer is wrong or right. I'm moving forward. Number 3. You're turning left at a green light with no arrow. Oncoming traffic is close. What do you do? You type it in and tell me what you will do. No guessing, no plan, no looking at papers. Either you know it or you don't. I'll read the question again. You're turning left at a green light with no arrow. Oncoming traffic is close. What do you do? I'm moving forward. By me not waiting for you, you're forced to speed up your thinking because we have 100 questions. I'm going to go ahead and explain this. The first thing you do, you want to yield. If you don't understand what I'm saying, you've already failed. You yield and wait for a safe gap. A safe gap is a space, SPACE. Second, a green light does not override oncoming traffic's right of way. If you don't understand this and your instructor has to tell you this, you failed. Part of learning how to become an independent driver is making decisions on your own. Okay, I have some of you in here who are 15, 16, 17, 18, and older. You have to be able to make decisions for yourself. This category is right-of-way and intersections. Let's go on to the next question. An emergency vehicle with lights and sirens approach you from behind. What is the correct move? Type in your answer. All right, let's keep moving. You're young. You can type fast. No regrets. So an emergency vehicle with lights and sirens approaches you from behind. What is the correct move? You need to pull over to the right edge of the road and stop unless otherwise noted. So that's what you have to do. If you don't know, you've already failed. You will have questions on your test about this. Let's keep going. You're at an uncontrolled intersection. Okay, guys, I'm going through. You want your test prep? Here it is. You're at an uncontrolled intersection. No signs, no lights. Who yields? Again, you're at an uncontrolled intersection. No signs, no lights. Who yields? Put in your answer. Type it in. Represent your family. Represent your community.
Mr. King, my phone needs a phone charger. Can I grab that?
Grab it. I'm going to keep moving. I appreciate you. So, guys, while he's grabbing this stuff, I'm going to keep moving. So, you are at an uncontrolled intersection. Uncontrolled intersections have no lights. They have no signs. Who goes first? The driver on the left yields to the driver on the right. If you don't understand that by now, you failed that category on intersections and right-of-ways. Let's keep going. Next, a car is already in a roundabout. You're entering. Who has the right of way? Type in your answer. Let's move quick. You need to have pressure in order to make diamonds. From pressure comes diamonds. Your diamond will shine on Thursday when you take your test. Either your answer is right or wrong. You're young adults. I don't have to hold your hand. You can write 5 complete sentences. You can tell me in your own words about these answers. So again, a car is already in the roundabout. You've entered. Who has the right of way? The car already in the roundabout has to yield. You need to slow down. You need to look left or right and pause. You never want to stop entering a roundabout unless it's a backup or it's an emergency. Also, you don't want to be behind or near a huge vehicle. And cars do cut through. Okay? Let's keep going. You're exiting a driveway or parking lot onto the road. Who yields? I'll read it again. You're exiting a driveway or parking lot on the road. Who yields? Type in your answer. I'm going to keep moving because we have 100 questions to do. We're almost done with the first 10. We don't have time to play. I'm dealing with high school students, young people who can think quickly. This is not middle school or elementary. So you're exiting a driveway. You're leaving your driveway or a parking lot to a main road. Who yields? You do to all traffic and pedestrians on the road. Either you have the correct answer or you don't. Let's go on to the next. 2 vehicles approach an intersection where one road doesn't have a stop sign? Who has priority? Again, two vehicles approach an intersection where one road does not have a stop sign. Who has priority? Please put in your answer. Time is up. Let's keep moving. The car on the uncontrolled road with no stop sign has priority. If you don't understand rules of the right of way, you failed 3 or 4 questions in that 10-question category. If you're 17 or 18 trying to take your test, you failed right of way and intersections. I have this group by category. This will definitely help you. And no, there's no special quizzy you can take. Hey, you got a quiz I can take? No, your knowledge is right now. And all you got to do is listen. Let's go on to the next. A traffic sign is completely out. A power failure. How do you treat the intersection? Type in your answer. Quick and easy and effective. Either you know it or you don't. I'm going to keep moving. You can't say I'm going too fast because you're moving too slow. We have 90 questions to go. We're over preparing for your test. So at a traffic sign that is completely out, power failure, how do you treat the intersection? You treat it like a 4-way stop. You know I'm going to take you to the next level. This first category is category 1, right of way and intersections. I need you to take TAKA-AWAY, semicolon. Type one thing you learned from right of way intersections. I'm not apologizing for moving quickly. You don't have to apologize. Either you know it or you don't. This is category 1. I'll give you a moment. Okay, we're going on to the next category. I'm not waiting for you, not apologizing. I asked you to type in takeaway. We are learning, we're elevating, we're going to the next level of teaching. And that's what I'm supposed to do. Okay, the next category. Category 2. This is signs and signals. Sign recognition questions make up roughly a third of most state knowledge tests. And they're the easiest points to lose from purely with unfamiliarity. All driving schools, all driving tests, knowledge tests have signs. And if you guys don't know signs, you won't pass your test. Please don't say, oh, this is new. I didn't see this in the teaching material. It's in there. But because I'm an educator, you don't read it. I'm at peace because I'm thorough. Next question. What shape is a yield sign? Type it in. What shape is a yield sign? Okay, I asked you what shape a yield sign is. It's a downward pointing triangle. Either you have it right or wrong. You must recognize signs by their shape, size, and color. Next question. What color are warning signs? Again, what color are warning signs? An example could be curve, deer crossing, merging traffic. Again, You need to tell me what color warning signs are. You're putting it right into the chat. Not wasting time, not cut and paste anything. You show us your knowledge. Okay, let's move forward. Again, the question I asked you, what color are warning signs? Warning signs are yellow. Know it or you don't. Again, roughly a third of state knowledge tests are signs purely by familiarity. Okay. Next question. What does a solid yellow line next to your lane mean? Again, what does a solid yellow line next to your lane mean? Type in your answer. I'm pushing myself and I'm pushing you. I don't have time to play with you. I don't have time to cut and paste. Either you know this or you don't. Okay? We're not waiting. Once you first came into the class, we always talked about test prep. Every single day I do this. Now it's on you. So I ask you, what does a solid yellow line next to your lane mean? It means no passing. It is illegal to cross the line into the other lane. Either you have it right or you have it wrong. A third of you will get this wrong. About 3 of you. Let's go on to the next. What does a flashing red light mean? Type in your answer. A flashing red light. What does it mean? Again, this is category 2, signs and signals. Sign recognition roughly makes up a third of most state knowledge tests. And they're the easiest points to lose purely from unfamiliarity because you guys don't study. Okay, so I ask you, what does a flashing red light mean? Treat it exactly like a stop sign, a full stop, then proceed when it's clear. A lot of you will miss this. You'll do a rolling stop. You'll panic. You'll fail. I'm trying to help you pass your test with consistency and with confidence. That's why we're here. I'm not here to waste your time. Let's go on to the next. What does a flashing yellow light mean? Take a moment, type in your answer. Again, this is category 2, signs and signals. What does a flashing yellow light mean? A flashing yellow light means slow down and proceed with caution, not a full stop required. When I drive students, they see a flashing light and they panic. They start slowing down and stopping. And I'm saying, why are you slowing down? Why are you stopping? I'm confused. I thought it was a yellow light. No, it's a flashing yellow light. It means slow down, proceed with caution, not a full stop required. Let's go on to the next. What colors are construction/work signs? Again, what colors are construction/work signs? Type in your color. We have 1 hour. And I'm going to use this time to test prep you and get you ready. 1 hour. Lock in. Okay, I asked you to type in the color of a construction/work sign zone. The correct answer is orange. Either you know it or you do not. These are very easy category of points to make to miss because a lot of you are not familiar with this. Test prep. Next question. What does a pentagon-shaped sign mean? Again, what does a pentagon-shaped sign mean? Take a moment. Type it in. What does it mean? If you're looking up your sign stuff right now, you don't know this. You could use this as an indicator to say, hey, man, I need to tighten up my studying. I'm going to give you methods to help you because that's my job. I'm not giving you the answers. I'm giving you the methods to help you. So you need to lock in and listen. Okay, so we talked about what does a pentagon-shaped sign mean? It means a school zone or school crossing, period. And all of you are in school or taking classes at a vocational center. Your life revolves around school. None of you are seniors. If you are, you're very late to taking driver's ed. Okay? 18-year-olds have taken this class. Regardless, if you're over 18, you still need to know road signs. You're going to repeat, that's your temporary restriction permit. Let's go on to the next. What does a white rectangular sign generally indicate? Again, what does a white rectangular sign generally indicate? You need to tell me what it generally indicates. Either you know it or you do not. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this. I'll read the question again. What does a white rectangular sign generally indicate? A regulatory sign. And a regulatory sign is a legal rule you must follow. Example, one way, do not enter, or speed limit. And for some of you who don't know signs, it's a wake-up call. You just got slapped in the face by a knowledge test. Some of you, you do know this. I want to keep going. What does a solid white line mean? Again, next question. What does a solid white line mean? You need to type it in. This is an interactive class. I give you the information, you demonstrate your knowledge. Either our scholars know this or you don't know it. No pretending, no looking up on an app. Either you know this information or you do not. And then for whatever you don't know, you need to write down what you don't know, and then you need to study it. So if I were you, I would write category 1. I'm just backtracking a second. Category 1 is right-of-way and intersections. If you don't know some of that stuff, you need to write it down. Category 2 is signs and signals. We're almost done with this. And roughly a third of you will miss this on your state test because they're easiest because they're purely from unfamiliarity. And the solid white line, it's a lane changes are discouraged, restricted, but not always illegal. Stay in your lane unless otherwise necessary. When you guys are merging on Expressway, some people cross that white line. If you hit a car, you could get ticketed because you're not supposed to cross that line. But some of you won't listen because you're in a hurry or you're scared to build up your speed. I'm trying to help you pass your test. Last question in this area. What does a circular sign with a red slash mean? Again, you're going to tell me what a circular sign with a red slash mean. I'm not dropping in prompts. I'm going to read the question. I'll read it twice. I have a great voice. And then you're going to put in what you know. I'm not moving too fast. We're at question 20. We have 80 questions to go. You want to get graded on your test? You lock in. Again, what does a circular sign with a red slash mean? The action is shown to be prohibited. No U-turn, no parking. I need you to type takeaway. T-A-K-E-A-W-A-Y, semicolon. Takeaway. T-A-K-E-A-W-A-Y, semicolon. Type one thing you learned, category 2, signs and signals. Let's get going, guys. You demonstrate your knowledge. Your parents are listening. I'm listening. Make us proud. This is your test prep. I don't have to do this. I could just give you a worksheet. I could just give you a quizzy. You have to demonstrate this. This is driver's education. I'm an instructor. Show me your knowledge. Some of you are scared for Thursday, and you should be because you don't study. Some of you are not scared because you have organization, you have test prep, and I'm giving you that because I'm an educator. I'm going on to the next category. You should have put in your takeaway. Category 3, speed, following distance and space management. Again, this is category 3. What I would do is write down category 3, speed, following distance and space. I'm not you. Some of your home playing, some of your home playing games. It's on you. But guess what? On Thursday, you're going to have an assessment. And none of you can say, my instructor did not prepare me. Never that. Okay, category 3, speed, following distance, and space management. Speed remains a factor in roughly a third of all fatal crashes nationally. People are speeding. You're speeding going to school. You're speeding going home. You're speeding going to the test. You're speeding going to your driver's education appointment. You think speeding is normal. It is not. And it's the single most tested judgment category on any written exam. What is the minimum safe following distance in good conditions? Again, what is the minimum safe following distance in good conditions? You should be able to tell me this quick. Minimum safe following distance. I'm picking it up. I'm not waiting for you. So following distance, first, how do you find your following distance? Once the car ahead of you passes a stationary object, let's say it passed Trop, it passed Crumble. Once the car passes 1001, 1002, 1003, then you pass Trop. You're 3 seconds away. That is your minimum following distance. It's called the 3-second rule. 3 seconds between you and the car ahead of you. But because you're beginning drivers, you tailgate. Or you drive really slow, which causes you to hold up traffic, which is a dangerous maneuver. You're going to come up to a light and either have to slam brakes or run a light. All of you do this. Why? Because I'm an instructor. You're just at a different location. I take pride in teaching my students. I love teaching my students and then driving them. So I know some of you in that first, second, or third drive slow. You still drive slow. And then you hold up people. And then they tailgate you. And then they get mad. And then they road rage. And you're like, why are they tailgating us? You're driving 12 under the limit. Oh, I'm sorry. And then you speed up and tailgate. And then the light changes. What should I do, instructor? If you run through the light, you hit a car. If you slam brakes, you get rear-ended. Keep your speed up. So let's go ahead and talk about this. What should you do to following distance in rain or snow? What should you do? What should you do? It's raining, it's snowing. What should you do in your following distance? Tell me. What should you do? Type in your answer. Remember, this is category 3, speed, following distance, and space management. Okay, very important. We're breaking this down by category. I told you to write down everything. This is your cheat code to pass your, but we got to put in work. Do you just have a sheet I can look at? No. Is there something I can study? No. You already have your study guide and test materials from day 1, 2 weeks ago. Oh yeah, you're right. But you guys won't read it. Too much reading. So increase your following distance to at least double, 6 seconds. Not 6 or 7. Increase your following distance. At least double, at least 6 seconds. At least 5 seconds. 4.5. Okay? Next question. What is hydroplaning? Type it in. Again, what is planing? You as a person, a young adult getting ready to take your test, you should be able to tell me what hydroplaning is. And if you don't know by now, you're going to struggle on the test on Thursday. This is category 3, speed, following distance, and space management. I'm going to keep moving because I'm going through all this. I'm not waiting for you. I'm not going to apologize. You got to put in your answer. So hydroplaning. Hydro is water, okay? Hydro means water. Plane means to lift or fly. So your tires lose contact with the road on a wet surface. They're driving on a sheet or film of water. You lose steering control. Lose braking control. And to add to this, because I'm giving you more information, when it first starts to rain the first couple of minutes, the oil, transmission fluid, mud, and grit on the dirt on the road makes a slippery pace and you slide. That's one of the questions on the test that many of you will miss because you're not taking the time to go through each category, each section. I'm going to the next question. A driver is tailgating you. What should you do? Type in your answer. Again, a driver is tailgating you. What should you do? I'm pushing myself to push you. You can't complain and say, we're moving too fast. I'm moving at a good pace. I want to get through this. So, again, a driver's tailgating you. What should you do? You want to increase your own following distance ahead if you can and avoid suddenly braking, because if you suddenly brake, you just got rear-ended. And if you suddenly brake, you will get the ticket. You can't suddenly brake check someone and expect them to get off your tail. Well, they're tailgating me and I don't feel safe. You just slam your brakes. You are the one that will get a ticket. And if both of you two are aggressively driving, both of you will get a ticket because drivers have cameras. Yeah, these two cars, one kid was hitting the brakes real hard. The other person was tailgating real hard. Both of you are aggressive driving and both of you will get a ticket. Let's keep going. When following a motorcycle, should your following distance change? Again, when following a motorcycle, should your following distance change? You tell me. And you tell me why. I want to know the why. Why are you watching this? Why are you in this online class? Why am I giving you test prep? We just have true, false words. You're not really going to learn that much. Here, you're going to learn more. We're applying it. Because this category is category 3, speed, following distance, and space. No other instructor's doing this, I guarantee you. Because my students tell me, Mr. Myles, my instructor just gives us a worksheet and he just sleeps in the back. My instructor just says, read the book, do questions 10. You do a Quizzy, you do a Kahoot, you do a Bookit. We do interactive. I have an interactive classroom. I have you get up. We role play. We do scholarly discourse. It's real. So when following a motorcycle, should your following distance change? The answer is yes. Give more space. Motorcycles can stop faster and harder, and they're harder to see. So you want to give them more space. They're harder to see. And they're dipping in and out of traffic, which is scary because they could fall. And it kind of makes us pause. And we're like, oh my God, is this person going to fall? I don't want to hit them. And by the time you say that, you could rear end someone. But they don't care. We have to care. I want to keep going. What's the safest following distance behind a large truck? Again, what is the safest behind a large truck? You need to tell me. Large truck, what is the safest following distance? I had to remind myself, we have 70 more questions, and you're not going to do this. Because if you were me, you're like, here's the rest, man. You go over it. Nope. But I'm different. I'm going to make sure you work. Because some of you will have crickets when you fail your test. So we're talking about the safest following distance behind a large truck. More than a car, trucks have larger blind spots. They're called the no zones. They have a longer stopping distance. So if you don't know what no zones are, you need to look that up. There are 4, left side, right side, front, and back. You as a driver, if you don't know those, you're going to end up getting sideswiped, getting run over because the truck driver cannot see you. I'm going on to the next. True or false? Speeds are maximum safe speeds in all conditions. Again, true or false? Speed limits are maximum safe speeds in all conditions. You need to put in your answer, and it's more than just true or false. If it's true, you tell me why. You tell me why. I don't like this. I got to type a lot. Don't care. You're going to thank me on Thursday when you pass your test, or some of you won't take this serious. I want you to step it up, setting a high standard. This is going beyond DOK level 3, K level 4. DOK is depth of knowledge. Good instructors have a rubric. I've talked about what we're going to go over. As you guys are putting your answers in, I'm going to go back and talk about this. We have 10 categories of real knowledge style test questions and the correct answer. And one fact, this is pulled from the Michigan State Police Department 2025 final crash data from the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration. You say that real fast. DMV manuals that make the ink in your memory instead of falling out of your head on test day. So this is real stuff. I'm not making this up. So we're going to continue. So true or false, speed limits are maximum safe speeds in all conditions. The first part is false. They are not. Speed limits are maximums in ideal conditions, dry, clear day. You must slow down further in snow or fog or heavy traffic. It's called the basic speed law. You can get a ticket for driving at the speed limit in rain or snow. Good luck to that in December or January. Let's keep going. Some of you are looking up answers right now, just playing and acting goofy. Avery, lock in. Ashlyn, lock in. Alexis Z, lock in. I see all of you playing. You know my face. I know your face by now. I know when you're playing. I know when Benjamin is locked in. I know when Ava K is locked in. I know when Andrew is locked in. I know when Stephanie's locked in. I'm doing this to give you test prep. I don't have to do all this. I can just give you a sheet, 3 or 4 videos. Bye-bye. So let's lock in. Have ownership in this. Okay, let's keep going. What is target fixation? Again, what is target fixation? Oh, big dog, I don't know. What that? I don't know. You got to read. Target fixation. I don't know. What that? What the target? What's fixation? I know you typing that in real quick to your chat GTP generator. I see you smiling, Avery. Avery does smiling, so happy, man. Ashlyn shining. She in the light. Appreciate you. Got that light coming down. Heavenly light. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Alexis Z, she locked in. She not playing. She's like, I got it. I got the answer. All right. Okay, so here we go. Let's talk about target fixation. Staring at a hazard. You see a deer coming across the road. You stare at it, but then you hit the car ahead of you. You are staring at a yellow light. You stare at the light, but you should be slowing down. You are staring at your speed limit as I'm looking down, but you're not looking at the road. That's target fixation. Now let's take it next. Staring at a hazard instead of your escape path, which steers you toward the very thing that you're trying to avoid. So you have to remember target fixation, staring at a hazard instead of your own escape path. One of the things in the SIPDE process or the Smith process, guys, I'm going over nuggets. You need to leave yourself an out. An out is the space, D. Leave yourself an out. As you're leaving high school, leave a room. Some student could be driving real fast, forget to stop, and they bump you instead of hit you. And then you get out and say, girl, you hit my car. And you're like, she bumped your car, girl. That's right, because you had space. Don't tailgate. Okay, let me keep going. How much does stopping distance roughly increase when your speed doubles? Ooh, I love it. Some of you about to be so confused. Again, How much does stopping distance roughly increase when speed doubles? Big dog, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, I'm shaking up your brain right now. Some of these questions you don't know, or some of these questions are worded differently. Guys, you're going to be taking a state examination that was put together by instructors, parents, college professors with the big brains, driver's ed companies. They sit at a table. They look at 1,000 questions. They bring them down to 500. Then they cut out more questions and they get it down to about 100. I'm trying to get you ready. This has worked for me and it's worked for you. But if you want to do well, you'll say, keep going. So it roughly quadruples. Stopping distance increases with the square of speed. I'm sorry, big dog. I hate geometry. Again, stopping distance roughly quadruples. Quad is 4. Stopping distance increases when the speed is square. Let's go on to the next question. When should you cover your brake? Meaning your foot is hovering over the brake or not pressing it. When should you cover your brake? A great beginner driver's education question. When should you cover your brake? I'm using driver's education terms. This is a driver's education class. I'm not talking about hot dogs or baseball or lotion. You smell like a peach. That's what one of my friends said this morning. Because I use my daughter's lotion. Mr. Myles, you smell like a peach. Why are you smelling me? You smell like a peach. I was using her lotion. It's okay. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this. I'm moving forward. So why should you cover your brake? You want to cover your brake when you approach intersections. You want to cover your brake in school zones because your friends are going to route out in front of you. And any area with pedestrians and unpredictable traffic. Again, school zones, intersections, or areas where your friends are going to run out in front of you and you're driving mom or dad's car the first time going to school and you slam brakes and get rear-ended. And all your friends take out the phones and like, wow, Avery. Wow, Ashlyn. Wow, Alexis Z. Wow, Camberlyn. Wow, Ava K. You really can't drive. My friend was watching you and they said you were nervous. Hey guys, you will be nervous. Some of you in a few weeks, some of you won't. You should be driving to school to get that experience. Okay, I need you to take away TAKEAWAY semicolon. You're going to tell me one thing you learned from category 3, which is speed, following distance, and space management. Not typing in prompts. I'm going to read the question twice. You put in your answer. Let's keep moving. It is 5:56. We're done at 6:30. We only have done 30 problems. And I'm giving you time. I'm telling you a story. You'll remember the story more than the question because through stories, we gain understanding. I'm going to the next category while you're putting in what you learned. Category 4, turning, lane changes, and merging. Again, this is category 4, turning, lane changing, and merging. Lane changing and merging errors are constantly cited as the top of contributing factors in crashes. Newly licensed drivers. I'm not talking to your mom, team. I'm not talking to your dad, team. I'm not talking to me. We have our experience. We're not going to crash on the lane change or turn. We're not going to crash on the merge. You will, though. So let's get it. What's the correct order for a lane change? Again, let's type it in. What's the correct order for a lane change? I don't like this. My hand hurts. I don't like when students fail. And then you're crying and hitting the wall. I've had students hit the wall before. I recall a student punched a hole in the wall because he had a lot of pressure on his parents. He missed 2 days of class. He was messing around with other kids. He got put out twice. That's what the other instructor told me who quit. And my boss said, can you please go in there and cover this class, Mr. Myles? You got good classroom management. He hit the wall when he failed the test. I'm like, I don't even know you. And then I told him, leave because you have destructive behavior. Don't be that kid. Okay, I'm going through. So what is the correct order for lane change? Mirror, turn signal, blind spot. Mirror, turn signal, blind spot. You check your inside mirror, outside mirror, you turn on your blinker, you look over your shoulder. But some of you will look over the wrong shoulder. Well, how do you know, OG? Because I'm an instructor. If I tell you to go make a lane change to the left, you look over the wrong shoulder. Sorry, big dog. If I tell you to make a lane change to the right, you look over your left. So it's normal to make mistakes, but you got to learn quickly. Your mom and dad won't be as forgiving. They're going to say, boy, what's wrong with you? We spent all this money. Didn't you start? Can you drive? I'm having a panic attack, mommy. Bruh, you won't make it to school. You know, I see who's laughing. We're not gonna call names. I see who laughing. You know I love you, man. You know I love you, girl. I want you to drive to school. Take a picture in their car. You driving to school. Here's my picture. Okay, drive, don't crash. I made it. Yes, you will be panicked. I'm sweating thinking about you driving to school, bro. Okay, let's keep going. How early should you signal before a turn? Again, how early should you signal before a turn? This is all the things we've been preaching. I've been preaching. Your instructor's been preaching. Your mom and dad may not preach this because they've been driving 10, 15, 20, 30 years. They're like, boy, you didn't use your blinker. Well, mom, you don't use your blinker. What? Caca! Your mom and dad clock your T. And then your little brother or sister's laughing at you. Mom is beating you up again. And then you're like, be quiet. And then your brother or sister takes a picture and it goes viral. They get 1.5 million views. Don't argue with your parents, but some of you will. That's why you not gonna drive to school. Real talk. Okay, so let's talk about this. How early should you turn your signal before a turn? At least 100 feet. 100 feet or half a block. This lets drivers know. If you turn on too late, you get rear-ended. You turn it on too early, you're confusing people. And then if your mom and dad are really listening, they're like, boy, why do you have your blinker on? I didn't know it was on. And then your brother, sisters laughing. They're like, hee, 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 hee. They're laughing at you and videoing you the whole way. Okay? And that's what they're going to do. Okay, let's keep going. When merging onto a highway, who has the right of way? Again, when merging onto a highway, who has the right of way? Let's go. I'm picking this up. We got a half an hour. You better hold on. We're merging on a highway. Who has the right of way? Tell me. Type it in. No sense for me to speed. Get it? No sense for me to speed. Oh, man. I got a good sense of humor. And you have to. Okay, so you're merging on a highway. Who has the right of way? You or the highway? The highway traffic has the right of way. You must match the speed and find a gap. A lot of you will panic. You'll go 50 and they're going 70. You'll go 60 and they're going 70. You'll go 65 and they're going 70. So a lot of you will struggle. I'm going to the next. What's the biggest mistake new drivers make when merging? Again, what's the biggest mistake new drivers make when merging? Type it in. We got 29 minutes and this is over. It's over. Okay? These are the top 100 questions. Okay? Covered by Michigan State Police 2025 final crash data, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, and state DMV manuals that make up the answers. And this will stick in your mind because I'm going over it. Okay? You get one fact and then the correct answer. So I'm going over this. I'm giving you real information. So we're talking about this. What's the biggest mistake new drivers make when merging? They drive too slow, forcing traffic behind them to brake. And this is when you get mad, you get cut off, people sideswipe you, they're like, "Argh!" And you're like, what's wrong with that driver? Nothing, kid. Because if your instructor tells you the truth, you're going to cry. But your mom and dad, boy, pull over. I can't drive with you. And what's your little brother, sister doing? They're videoing you again. Have your little brother, sister, but if you do, your mom and dad go put hands on you. Mm-hmm. Good luck going to school with your face all red and a scratch. Uh-huh. Ashlyn, what happened to you? Nothing. Avery K, what happened? Nothing. Benjamin, what happened? Nothing, bro. Kimberly, what happened? Nothing. Stephanie, what happened? My mom and I got in an argument. Tell the truth, okay? You've got to convince your mom and dad that you know what you're doing. I'm going to keep reminding you of this. Some of you will be driving, some of you won't. Well, it's in the morning. I'm not awake. You're going to school. You got an 8 o'clock class. I'm not awake to 10. You go sleep 2 hours? Yes. My teacher lets me send it back. And then you get no credit and fail. Okay? All right, next, when making a left turn from a one-way street on one-way street, what lane do you turn into? Again, this was on your study guide. When making a left turn from a one-way street onto another one-way street, what lane do you turn into? Again, we're almost at 40. We have 60 questions left. I'm not rushing this. Can we go over this tomorrow? No, I'm doing something else. You get what you get. Why you like this? Like what? We're preparing you. You move too fast. No, I don't. You move too slow. You got to pick it up. Okay, so we're making a left turn on from a one-way street to another one-way street. What lane do you turn into? The leftmost available lane. Again, the leftmost available lane. Leftmost available lane. Let's keep going. What is a blind spot? Tell me. Type it in. What is a blind spot? What is it? Tell me what it is. What is a blind spot? Blind spot. Type it in. This is category 4, turning, lane changes, and merging. Lane changes and merging errors are consistently cited as the top contributing factors in crashes involving newly licensed drivers. And your brother, sister sitting in the back videoing you as your mom and dad rip your head off because you are panicking and nervous. Guys, I've seen this before. I talk to my students. They tell me the truth. Okay? I don't want this to happen to you, but you're not listening to me. Clearly. Okay, I'm going to keep going with this so we can keep moving. A blind spot is the area around your car that you can't see. It's not in your mirrors. It's got to be checked by looking. I got a blind spot mirror, OG. I'm not hearing you. I got a blind spot mirror, OG. Not hearing you. You have to look over your shoulder and check. Let's keep going. When two cars in an adjacent lane both want to turn left, I love the wording. When two cars in an adjacent lane both want to turn left at the same time, what is the rule? Again, when two cars in an adjacent lane both want to turn left at the same time, what is the rule? We have 24 minutes, and it's a wrap. You'll have 2 hours for your test. You need to get it done in 2 hours. Unless you have special accommodations, we allow for that. Your parents need to read it to you. Your instructor cannot read it to you. So 2 cars are coming together in the adjacent lanes. Both want to turn left. Stay in your own lane through the turn. Don't cross onto another turning lane. Let's go to the next question. What should you do before backing out onto a parking space? What should you do before backing out of a parking space? What should you do? What is the process? What are your steps? I don't know. I just back out. Well, you just backed out and crashed. You just backed out and hit your brother. You just backed out to the neighbor's car. I don't like them anyway. Too bad. Now they come into your parents' house, knocking on the door. Again, what should you do before backing out of a parking space? You want to check your mirrors. You should attach your answer, and you got to check your mirrors. I'm going to look in the back of your camera. You've already crashed. I'm going to look in the back of your camera. That doesn't show farly to the left. It doesn't show farly to the right. I'm just going to look in the back of your camera. Turn your head. Look far to the right. Down the street. Turn your head. Look far to the left. And then check at the back of your camera and look behind you. So you want to check your mirrors, check over both shoulders, and back out slowly and cautiously. Backing maneuvers are some of the most dangerous because kids are small, you'll run them over, and then now you have blood on your hands. I'm going to keep moving. When is it illegal to pass another vehicle? When is it illegal to pass another vehicle? When is it illegal? We just at question 39. When is it illegal to pass another vehicle? It takes time to process this, guys. I'm in a hurry. I read it twice. You put in your answer. I give you a little story, such as the backup camera that's not going to save your life, such as you not looking over your shoulder and not looking the other way. So when is it illegal to pass another vehicle? A solid yellow line, approaching a curve or hill with limited visibility, or in a school zone or construction zone. I'll say it again. A solid yellow line, approaching a curve or hill. You can't see around a curve or hill. I'm in a hurry, OG. You're in a hurry to have a head-on collision. Limited sight visibility, or in a school zone or construction zone. What is the correct way to gain change on a multi-lane highway? Again, what is the correct way to complete a lane change on a multi-lane highway? How do you make the lane change? What is the complete way? What do you do? After this question, we'll have 20 minutes. I'm not worried. I'm not rushing. You get what you get. You got to study. I'm going to go quality over quantity. Again, what is the correct way to complete a lane change on a multi-lane highway? You should have typed in your answer. You want to make a lane change one lane at a time, and you never want to cross two lanes in a single motion. Make a lane change one lane at a time, from the right lane to the middle lane. Pause. From the middle lane to the left lane. All of you should have typed that in. I need you to type takeaway. Takeaway. Type what you learned. We have 20 minutes. Not rushing at all. Again, I ask you to type takeaway. You can multitask, or some of you pretend you can. Multitask, again, why am I doing this? This is a real knowledge test question guide. It's broken down into 10 categories, real knowledge test questions with the correct answer and one fact. This is pulled from the Michigan State Police 2025 final crash data, Bills Authority. This is from the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration and the state DMV manuals that makes the one answer stick in your memories instead of falling out of your head on test day, because all of you will have anxiety. No, I won't. You will. Now we're going over parking, low speed maneuvers. Backing, parking, this is category 5. Backing, parking, and low speed maneuvers. By the time we're done with this, we'll be at question 50. Parking related maneuvers cause a disproportionate share of low speed severe crashes, and they're constantly the #1 road test failure point per exam data. You can't park. You don't know how to park. You're up on your parents' grass. You hit in the mailbox. Your mom and dad are saying, "Oh my God, get off our grass." You're like, "What? What did I do?" Next question. How far from a fire hydrant must you park? How far from a fire hydrant? Some of your screens will change real quick. You're going to type it into Google. You're going to type it into your little search engine. Again, how far from a fire hydrant must you park? How far? Again, it's 6:12. Taking my time. My new class starts at 6:30. We get through what we get. Yes. Yes, he is. Okay. So how from a fire hydrant must you park? It's at least 15 feet. If you park less than 15 feet, they have a right to break in your vehicle, break your windows, and move your vehicle. That's your fault. How far from a stop sign or crosswalk must you park? Again, how far from a stop sign or crosswalk must you park? You need to tell me how far from a stop sign or crosswalk must you park. Again, this is in the packet. This is in your study guide. Okay? How far from a stop sign or crosswalk must you park? It's at least 20 feet. It varies by state, generally 15 to 20. So the minimum is 20 feet, but it does vary 15 to 20 feet. Next, again, you got to tap in your answer. What is the correct distance from the curb for parallel parking? If you miss this, you don't deserve to get your license. We stand on facts. We stand on facts. This is not play stuff. This is from the Michigan State Police crash data, DMV records, road test data. You're getting facts. And it varies from state to state to state. Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Texas, Florida. Every state is different. So you want to lock in and get a general understanding. So when parking from a curb, you need to be within 12 inches or about a foot. There are meter-made companies that will come. They have a timer. They'll look. They'll scan your license plate. You're within or without 12 inches, you get a ticket. So when you come out from eating a chop or sushi, whatever you're doing, you got a ticket. Okay? If you're caught driving without a license, you could be arrested. You always want to have your license with you. You always want to make sure you have your materials with you. Let's keep going. When parking uphill with the curb, you're parking uphill, which way do you turn your wheels? Again, when parking uphill with the curb, which way do you turn your wheels? You either know this or you don't. And again, this is category 5, parking, backing, and low speed maneuvers. Put in your questions. You should always have your operator's license with you. If you're in your permit phase, the first thing you grab is your permit. If you're in your license phase, you always have your license. You never know when you're going to get pulled over. License, registration, proof of insurance. I forgot my license. Get out, sir. You're going to get arrested because you don't have an operator's license. Ignorance is no excuse. That's one of the first things we learn. Ignorance is no excuse. We got 14 minutes left. This is category 5. I'm not rushing. So if you're parking uphill with the curb, which way do you turn your wheels? Away from the curb. So if the car rolls into the curb, if it moves. If you're speeding in the school zone, you will get a ticket. They have the flock cameras there. So people say anything. That's not true. So if you speed in the school zone, you'll definitely get arrested. A lot of people say random stuff, but that's not true. Okay, let's go to the next question. When parking downhill with the curb, again, you're parking downhill. I don't remember downhill and uphill. Well, you already missed those questions. When parking downhill with the curb, which way do you turn the wheels? Again, you're parking downhill. I'm stressed, OG. I'm stressed. Well, you stressed. I'm living my best life. We're category 5. We got 13 minutes left. Oh, you're right. I'm going to go play video games after this. Some of you are playing video games now. Again, I asked you a question. When parking with no curb, downhill, when parking downhill with the curb, which way do you turn your wheels? You want to turn your wheels toward the curb. Okay? So if your car slips out of gear, it will just roll right into the curb. And of course, you have your park brake up. Okay, let's keep going. When parking with no curb, uphill or downhill, which way do you turn your wheels? Again, when parking with no curb, uphill or downhill, which way do you turn your wheels? Put in your answer. I'm going to keep moving. You should have put in toward the edge of the road or shoulder. Next question. Can you park in the bike lane? Yes or no, and tell me why. Can you park in the bike lane? I see you, Cameron. It's a lot of work doing this, man. I could give you a little worksheet, little true or false, little matching. You right, G. You keep going, man. I got you, bro. I got you. Yep. A lot of people can't handle this work. You're going to be taking your test on Thursday. You're going to see my little face. Skipping 20. And I'm going to tell you how you finish too. So, can you park in the bike? There's no. It's illegal for virtually every state. You cannot park in the bike lane. Let's go to the next. What's the biggest reason examiners fail people on parallel park? Again, what is the biggest reason examiners fail people on the parallel park? Put in your answer. Again, what is the biggest reason examiners fail people on the parallel park? Please put in your answer. Again, I asked you to type it in. I'm going to keep moving. We got 10 minutes. We're on category 5. I'm not rushing. I'm not hitting or coming too close to the cone or curb or making too many corrective. Okay, you keep hitting the curb. Minus. Okay, you going in the encroachment line. Or too many attempts or corrective pull-ups because you don't practice. Next, when backing up, where should your eyes primarily be? When backing up, where should your eyes primarily be? Please go ahead and take a moment, answer that question. When backing up, where should your eyes primarily be? Type it in. 9 minutes. Where should your eyes primarily be when backing up? This is parking, backing, and low-speed maneuvers. Parking-related maneuvers can cause a disproportionate share of low-speed, severe crashes. And they're constantly the number one road test failure per examiner data. I'm giving you data. I'm not guessing. We're looking because these examiners need to document when a student fails. And I have access. Back over your shoulder. I'm gonna look in the back of your camera. You just ran over someone. I'm gonna look in the back of your camera. You just hit your mom's car because you turned the wheel to the left. I'm gonna look at the back of your camera. The back of your camera is the wrong answer. Well, why do they have a back of your camera? Because they make it easy for people to crash. Looking back over your shoulder through the rear window, not just the mirrors or backup camera. Is it legal to park facing oncoming traffic on a two-way street? Is it legal to park facing oncoming traffic on a two-way street? Take a moment and put in your answer. Take a moment and put in your answer. Is it legal to park facing oncoming traffic on a two-way street? The correct answer is, you should have typed in, it is no. You must park in the direction of the traffic flow. Again, you type takeaway. We have 7 minutes. We're at category 5. Type takeaway, Takeaway, semicolon. You're going to tell me what you learned from parking, backing, and low-speed maneuvers. I asked you to take notes on this. You're putting together your own study guide. Can you email me something? No. Is this somewhere on the internet? No. Okay. We are giving you questions just like on the permit test. Yes, that's what this is. These are questions just like on the permit test. Okay, the knowledge test. We have 7 minutes. Again, I ask you to tap in takeaway. We're going to get to night driving, and then I'm going to show you how you use this. So you got to lock in. Category 6, weather and night driving. Night driving fatality rates are disproportionately higher than daytime rates, despite far less traffic volumes. Overall, visibility, not volume, is the killer. All of you will be scared driving at night because I drive teens and adults who drive at night. You're all over the road. I can't see where I'm going. Can you help me? Why am I going off the road? Can you help me? What color's the light? I can't see. When should you switch your low beams on? When should you switch your low beams on? Again, notice the way I said the question. When should you switch your low beams on? I love this. State data. Michigan State crash data. Knowledge test. No guessing. One person said, when the sun starts, interesting. When should you switch from low beam to high beams? Within 500 feet of an oncoming vehicle, or when another vehicle within 300 feet. I'll say it again. When should you switch to low beams? Within 500 feet of an oncoming vehicle, or when following another vehicle within 300 feet. So the question states, when should you switch to low beams? So it assumes that your high beams are on. So that's the trick question. That's not fair. Next question. What should you do if you start to skid on ice or snow? Again, what should you do if you start to skid on ice or snow? Type in what you should do. This is an interactive class. Let's go. Don't do that, bro. You sitting here. We got 4 minutes. Can I get a sheet? No. Can you email me this? No. The only way you get this is sit in and listen and learn. This too slow. No, it's not. It's just right. Again, what should you do if you start to skid on ice or snow? You should be typing in your answer. And again, I recall this in the study guide. All this information, we're just breaking it down differently. This is weather and night driving. Ease off the gas. That's the first thing you do if you're skidding. Ease off the gas. Don't slam the brakes. Don't slam the brakes. Ease off the gas. Steer gently in the direction you want to go. If you want to hit the wall, steer toward the wall. If you want to hit the guardrail, steer toward the guardrail. We're in America. Usually the guardrail's on the right, the wall's on the left, but if you go in the tunnels, there's a wall on the left and on the right. Your action plan for 2026. The 100 questions, every single one is grounded in a real rule, a real crash trend, or a real examiner pattern, not internet guesses. And that's what a lot of you want. You want to study by category, not randomly. Knowledge test clusters questions the same way videos do. One category is instant fail. We didn't get to that. Another category is pedestrians and cyclists and school buses. We didn't get to that. Another category is impairment, distractions, and the law, BAC. We didn't get to that. Another one is highway and expressways. We didn't get to that. We finished on night driving and weather. I'm going to keep reading to put together. The test is usually on a Scantron sheet, and then the examiner or the tester will correct it. Retest yourself on the ones you got wrong, not the whole set again. So whatever questions you miss, you need to look at those. Drive the category you're weakest in with a real instructor. I'm your real instructor. We're going to go over this more tomorrow. Most people don't fail from not knowing, they fail from freezing. I need you to work on this. I'm going to say thank you. You need to subscribe. Type in what you learned. Okay, I'll be coming back on in minutes. I'm going to take a break, charge everything up. I'll be back on it. Thank you. Subscribe. Bye. Again, guys, what you need to do